What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You know who I am, you know what I do, and you know who I do it for, and it's most certainly for you. Welcome to another episode of The Diagnosis, where I, your host, Dr. Rectangle, give you all of your quality information and news post-haste. So without further ado, yes, the Steven universe and its fans have found a way to get back into the crosshairs of yet another one of my videos. However, this time the subject at hand is not about what the fan base has done, it's about the topic of censorship. Now, censorship is where you take, move, edit, or just filter something out of a pre-established work because you believe as though the target audience would not be ready for aforementioned gripes, complaints, issues within the original content. Now, with that said, Steven Universe was going to air a same-gender kissing scene in which two women were going to be all snuggly, cuddly, caressing each other and holding each other and cupping each other's heads, getting ready to go in for that deep kiss. And they believe at Cartoon Network that that's too much and that children everywhere do not need to see that type of content. Now, once again, I do not have a problem with this part of the story or people having a direct problem with this scene being removed. Neither of those viewpoints are what I have a problem with. What I have a problem with is there are a couple of sites such as Polygon.com and the Mary Sue who have come out and say, how dare Cartoon Network have the gall, the nerve, the intestinal fortitude, the guts, the cojones, the melons, the grapefruits to sit here and tell us what our kids aren't ready to see. How dare they have the nerve to sit there and say that they aren't ready to see this type of content. Now, once again, I don't have a problem with this viewpoint either. It's the contradictory viewpoints that I'm going to get to in a second where I have the problem. For the Mary Sue actually went as far to say as, how dare Cartoon Network sit there and say that they're not ready for this. They've actually made it seem like it's a no-brainer that children around the world are ready to see this content. And whether they're right or wrong, that's an opinion. However, not too long ago, for grown adults, men and women, people above the age of 18, this, even if it was for the sake of character development, was not allowed. This was wrong. This was a vile act. You couldn't have this. A couple months ago, this was a national tragedy. International tragedy. This was a fiasco, and I'm not talking about Lupe. This right here was ready to cause people to boycott Capcom. Some of you who are new to this issue probably have no idea what I'm talking about. The butt slap. That needed to be censored. And these two sites were advocates of the censorship. People on these sites wanted the censorship of that for adults, for grown people, in a rated T environment, teenagers. This was too bad. Matter of fact, going to the beach in a bikini top and getting wet while playing with your friends was also banned. Not even censored. They hated it so much that they had a campaign to make sure that Dead or Alive Extreme 3 wouldn't come westward. Yeah, this is wrong. But can't even children go to the beach? Yeah. But can't children put on bikinis and run around the pool naked like? Yeah, I think they get it. But can adults do the exact same thing and caress each other on the beach? Yes, that's what I'm saying. They get it now. You can leave it alone, sir. Well, no one had a problem with children slapping their butt when they were using it to signify you couldn't catch them. Mate, please. Doing a video. Calm down. In any way, shape, or form, or facet, they're okay with kids seeing this, but grown people would never be allowed to see this. Even though, as he said, kids can go to the beach and wear aforementioned bikini and run around almost naked going into the water, and the adults can do the same thing, and you can do things on nude beaches as well, but we're not going to talk about those yet because that is just way too far. Nude beaches should be censored. Now, if you're wondering why I had to censor that, it's obviously because it looks like semen. It's clearly not milk. Clearly. Obviously. It has to be semen. That's some good old-fashioned milk. I clearly mean semen. Clearly. Obviously. But in any way, shape, or form, Polygon, Mary Sue, and all people who frequent these sites and share these opinions, how are you going to say that this is too offensive for grown people to actually go out and consume? You're going to say that this is too much for teenagers. But two people looking like they're about to get it on to the same gender in a kid's show, where the target audience isn't you 20-plussers who just so happen to like the show. It's the children. How are you going to have such a hypocritical stance and not even try to understand where like, you guys are trying to burn Cartoon Network at the stake right now, and I just think it's the most hilarious and cute and ass-backwards thing you guys have done in months. Because at the end of the day, there hasn't been a scene like this in Steven Universe throughout its entire runtime. Don't get me wrong, they've had dancing and things of that nature, but there's been nothing of this magnitude. And it has not changed the fact that you love this show. It has not changed the fact that this show has done things that you have applauded all throughout its multiple seasons. This has gone to show that this show doesn't need the over-sexualization of characters that you so demonize in every other work out there. But, clearly, you should know that already, if you're a real fan. But with that said, I think I've done wasting your time. I gotta get back to this tasty beverage. That's some good milk.